Hello everybody. Today I'll be explaining the basic rules of poker and how to play the game. As a keen student of the game who has been playing for over 2 years, I have heavily familiarized myself with the rules of the game and would like to think that I am a fairly good player. Poker has many variations, but today we will be going through the most popular version of the game, Texas Hold'em Poker. What you will need before you actually start playing are some chips. You can have how many ever chips you want, but everyone playing needs to start off with the same amount. You will need at least 2 players and a deck of cards. The chips represent some sort of monetary value, which you can decide on your own. The objective of the game is to collect all the chips by taking everyone else's chips. This happens by winning rounds and will further be explained later. Before playing, you must know how to actually win the chips. The point of poker is to make the best 5-card hand, with the 2 cards in your hand and the 5 cards that will eventually be placed on the table. The strengths of hand are as follows. If you have a better hand than your opponent, you win. The highest hand in poker consists of the following 5 cards: 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace, all of the same suit. After that, it is the 5 cards in a sequence, all of the same suit. Then, 4 cards of the same number, which is called a 4 of a kind. It then goes on to a full house, which is 3 cards of the same number, and then 2 cards of another number. A flush is any 5 cards of the same suit, while a straight is 5 cards in a sequence at any suit. Then there's a 3 of a kind, which is 3 cards of the same number, followed by a 2 pair, which is 2 cards of the same number, and then 2 cards of another number. This is followed by a pair, which is simply 2 cards of the same number, and the worst hand in poker is the high card. So after you've set everything up and have handed out the chips, the first step is to hand out 2 cards to each player. You start with the person who is to the left of the dealer, and after each round, the dealer switches, so each person gets a turn to be dealt the hand first. The next step is to make sure that the person directly to the left of the dealer puts in a small blind, which is a small bet that you can decide on your own, and the person 2 spots to the left of the dealer puts in a big blind, which is double the small blind. These are compulsory bets to ensure that there are at least some chips in the pot. The other players get 3 options. After determining the strength of their hand at this point, they can either call, fold, or raise. A fold means that they don't think their hand is very good and therefore do not want to play this round. A call means they want to play, so they will match the amount of the big blind, while a raise means they want to match the amount put in by the big blind, plus add some more chips on top of that. After this round of betting, each person playing should have put in the same amount of chips as each other. This completes the pre-flop round. The next round is called the flop round. After everyone who wants to play the round has put their chips in, the dealer burns 1 card and then opens 3 cards from the deck onto the table. Then there is another round of action. The first move always goes to the person to the left of the dealer. The person can either check, fold, or raise, depending on whether he or she thinks that his hand will win or not. A check means that he doesn't wish to add more money into the pot, and then the action moves on to the next person playing. The next person has the same 3 options. He can check, raise, or fold, and so do all of the other people playing. Unless someone raises and adds more money, which means that everyone has to either match it by calling, or if they don't want to play after seeing the flop and seeing how much the other person raised, they can fold. Once everyone who wants to play has put their chips in, the flop round is over. The next round is called the turn. The dealer burns 1 card and flips 1 card over on and adds it to the flop. The next round of action then starts, and the players can now see 4 cards on the table. The same actions can be played as the previous round, but now there is 1 more card on the table to use to make your best 5-card hand. Once everyone puts their chips in, the turn round has ended. The next round is called the river. The dealer burns 1 card and flips the last card over to reveal all 5 cards on the table. There is 1 more round of action before everyone who's still playing reveals their cards to see who has the best hand. Once the players play their action and reveal their cards, the person who has a better 5-card hand wins the round, and thus all the chips put in by everyone else. This completes the river round. The cards are then given back to the dealer, there is a new dealer, and thus a new big and small blind, and then the next round of playing commences. Those are the basic rules of Texas Hold'em. The more you play, the more familiar you will get with the game, and will get better at it. Practice makes perfect. Poker is not necessarily about having the best hand at all times. It's about knowing when to fold to save your chips, knowing when to raise to get the most amount of chips from everyone when you do have a good hand, and sometimes it is also about bluffing and taking a risk by raising even when you have nothing. This would cause other players to be scared and could cause them to fold. However, that tactic is risky and sometimes does not work, because it leaves you prone to lose all your chips, which is pretty much the unwanted state in this scenario. You are now ready to play poker. Gather your friends and have a great time. However, be careful that this hobby does not turn into an addiction where you start using real money. That situation is never good and could cause extremely bad scenarios where you start losing real-life money. Ensure that this game is played in good spirits with nothing but pride on the line.